Okay, I'm processing. 今回はドンさんなんで日本に来たのか聞いていきたいと思います。
I don't like Tororo.
はい。
Nato's okay. It's not just because it's
それ
never
は
never.
珍しい。すでに好きなことから英語にしようっていうことね。Okay, so, ドンさんです。1年ぐらいね、仲良しの友達ですね。ということで、今回はドンさんなんで日本に来たのか最初にね、聞いていきたいと思います。So, why were you to Japan?
Well,
you have to think about it because it was 80 years ago.
It was, why did I come here?
Exactly.
Why am I still here? Why didn't I go back? Well, actually, I lived in Japan for about a year and a half, a long time ago. I was a kid. But it wasn't like I can't say it was like living in Japan.
Why?
Oh, it was because I lived on base.
沖縄ね。お父さんが米軍ってこと？ So you're...
Yes, he was in the military, in the American Navy.
Navy, nice.
Yes.
Okay.
But I did get to visit mainland Japan or Honshu, and it was actually Kyoto and Osaka. I've never been to Tokyo before, but I went to Kyoto and I thought it was amazing. It was my favorite time that I lived in Japan, and I want to go back. So I lived mostly in California, but I also lived in other places in the States.
You were in the high school or like middle school?
So I was elementary school and then
school to
high school.
High school.
Yes. In college, I moved to Chicago, and then after college, I moved to Washington D.C. and New York, and ended up in Japan.
Okay. Wow. You're everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm processing.
She did not know this before. I didn't tell you all of that. This is my real history.
No.
And yeah, it is very confusing.
It is. It's so hard to remember those, you know?
I thought, okay, there's only one other place or one other country I wanted to try to explore, and it was Japan. And 8 years later, I haven't left.
What?
Only 3 times I left for home. Only 3 times in the 8 years.
Oh my god, you've been here more than I've been here though.
Yes, since that time.
Yeah.
Since
because I think 8 years ago I was in North Carolina and I was back here, but I was in LA for 2 years and I was everywhere and then not in Japan. I was in Dubai.
Whoa! But yeah. You were everywhere else, and I was mostly in Japan.
Because you love it, right?
Oh, it's amazing.
You choose to stay here, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay. Moving on. It's so weird to say so far, because you've been here years. My question is what was the difference, the biggest difference, between your expectation and the reality here?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, because
I like that.
You were in Okinawa long time ago, and then as an adult you came here for the first time, and then your expectation might have been different.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you remember, or do you still have that?
My first experience moving, when I moved out here, I had expectations because like I said, my last image was Kyoto.
Kyoto, Osaka, キラキラみたいな、観光みたいなね。
Weird story. I still kept those. I did see people in kimonos, but now that I know, they're mostly tourists in kimonos at the time.
Oh, now you know.
Now I know. But I still remember that. So, the first time I came to Japan, or when I moved to Japan, was January 10th.
Okay.
So, if you know what January 10th is, it's definitely special. Yes. So, I came into KIX Airport, Osaka. I checked in. My company's headquarters was in Wakayama. And Okayama.
Did you fly or did you go to Shinkansen?
Shinkansen.
Okay.
So in Okayama, there were still festivities from the Seijin Shiki. And
Hakama toka ne.
Yes. So I thought every day Japanese kids all wore kimonos, and I thought, wow, this is exactly what I thought Japan was. And they're like, oh, this is perfect. Where can I buy a kimono?
Yeah.
It took about a week for me to get the information that, no, that's just a special day in Japan. So it was just a very strange coincidence.
それはおもろい。
After that, I was like, okay, yeah, I get it.
That's not everyday thing.
Yes, so my short-lived image of Japan was kind of turned around. Other than that, I thought it would be harder for me to adjust because even now my Japanese language is terrible.
Yeah,
but
it
was,
is. Just kidding.
No, it's 8 years. It's terrible. But I've never had a problem communicating. And the reason why I've lived here for like 8 years is because it's actually really easy living out here for, at least for me, in my lifestyle.
And it just depends on your personality as well, because like you're very friendly, and you don't really need any like like specific like difficult Japanese like sentence to explain things, because you feel it and then they get it. It's just easy for everyone to just like talk with you, I guess.
Yeah,
That's why it makes it easier for you to live here.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I definitely try to make friends and communicate, but most of my communication is about feeling rather than like all words. So I make friends pretty easily, and I think they're just like, oh, this guy's fun.
Yeah, true. Okay, so what's the best thing to do here in Japan for you?
My favorite thing to do in Japan or anywhere. I like taking pictures. I say obviously because Saya knows.
Yeah. じゃあ写真好きなのね。
Yeah, I do. But Japan's great because I don't have to travel far to go somewhere away from the city. I know a lot of people love the city and stuff, but I definitely like to appreciate areas that are more open. So I'll try to take the train. And I definitely suggest anybody that travels out here, just take a random train. You'll find something very interesting no matter where you go.
Right.
And I like walking around. Walking in Japan is different than walking in America.
No.
Very safe. And that's how I find most of my favorite like restaurants, bars, and cafes.
True.
So love walking around random days.
That makes me feel like good about like being Japanese.
Oh, totally. Oh, yes.
And let's move on. Next question. Well, I was gonna ask you if you like Japanese food, but obviously you do. Yeah, so I'm just gonna change the topic. That what's your favorite izakaya food?
Oh, okay.
I don't have like any specific izakaya food. I just like a potato salad とか.
Yeah, no, there's one food that I always order. I can't say it's my favorite because there's a lot of good foods.
Yeah.
But the food that I always order is chicken namba.
美味しいね.
It's so good.
You're so awesome ね.
I mean, it's so good, and it's a food that Americans would easily love, right? It's just like fried chicken with breading, like is it tartar sauce or what's on top?
Yeah,
tartar sauce.
Okay, so can I hear you say tartar sauce again?
Tartar sauce.
We say tartar sauce.
Oh, because the
tartar sauce.
Yeah, it's just RR. So tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce.
Yeah, tartar sauce.
タルタルソース、ターターソースです。
Yes. Oh. 完璧。
Okay.
Yeah.
ということで、チキン南蛮ね。
I always order that, but I've had a lot of good dishes. Yakitori, any type of thing.
Yeah, of course, like karaage and ramen and stuff. Yeah. But what is the food that you like, at least, like you really don't like?
Oh, I don't like the salad that they give you in like what is it?
It's like cover charge.
Okay, cover charge. Yeah.
Like,
I don't need that. I don't want extra charge.
I know. We get it. We all think that way, but like
that's just and it's very minor. I don't like tororo. I like soba.
Oh,
that's
what I wanted to hear. Yes.
I don't like tororo.
Hi.
Natto's okay. It's not just because it's never, but I don't like tororo.
I mean, a lot of my friends, like from America, they hate natto, so I think you're the only one who loves natto.
Natto's great.
Yeah.
Love natto. I get it at the convenience.
Okay. So Totoro, no,
No.
for you.
Probably not. Still.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
I love Totoro. Next question. What do you think that like foreigners don't know about Japan still, like in 2022, and then something that you know because you live here?
First of all, great question.
Thank you. I made it by myself, yes.
It's a great question because I don't know how to answer it.
It's weird, but コンビニにエロ本があることとか Do foreigners know that it's very like public space? Kids can even grab it, but like there are so many
kids
エロ本.
too.
It's yeah.
Yeah. I like that
Yeah.
because that was a big story in the Olympics. In
Okay,
Tokyo.
so they know. Okay. Yeah, people
They
know.
might know, but they don't. They'll say like, "Oh, I read this article about that." Like me right now, like, "Oh yeah, there was an article about that," but you won't know until you experience it. Here is that it's real. Like I can't think of my life without a convenience store. If I move back to America, my main worry is what happens if it's 12:30 a.m. and I want a snack, maybe a high quality meal. We'll talk about the meals in or the food that the other types of food you can get at convenience stores.
Yeah.
But you pay your bills. You can mail things in the convenience store. You can order concert tickets or pay for concert tickets. There's so much you can do and it's a legitimate convenience store because it's everywhere. That's probably the only answer I can give.
True, yeah, and then I don't think they know.
We can say it like I'm telling you now, but you don't know until it's part of your life. And when they take it away from you, that's the first thing I'll probably be mad at. It's like, where the frick is the convenience store?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Konbini. I love you.
Thank you, Konbini!
We can't live without you.
I'm not sad, but like, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either till now.
Sometimes you don't know what you have. Sometimes
Until
you just don't
you
know.
lose it.
Until you lose it.
We don't want to lose you.
Now
We
we're
don't
gonna
wanna
start
lose you.
drinking.
Yeah.
The alcohol part of the video.
All right, and last two questions.
Two more.
So one is yes or no question. Is the gaijin seat on a train exist? Like, does it exist?
I'd say it does because I've seen it. It might have happened to me, but it can also just be for any other reason.
I'm just gonna explain what外人シート is.
Please.
So 外人シートっていうのはその電車で外人が座った時にこのどんだけ混んでてもこの外人の右と左は空いているここの空いているシートのこと空いてる席のことを外人シートっていうのよね。Right? And then some people say it's like racist and it's like kind of like in discrimination and some people say no, it doesn't happen, but like what is going on like in reality, you know? That's what I wanted to hear from you because you've been here for 8 years and you've seen it or you've had it.
Luckily for me, when I say luckily for me, I can, no matter where I lived, I've been able to blend in pretty well as long as I don't open my mouth and say, hey guys, and so I can pass for, like if I go to Okinawa, I already look like a local.
Yeah.
Southern California, I always feel like a local. I am. I've usually been pretty good at blending in, but I do know, and I've been with groups of people, and it might be because you're in a group of people, and that's understandable for sure. But definitely some individuals might have experienced that way more than I have. So there's a lot of more social justice movements, and so I mean there would be evidence on like Instagram or social media and stuff. And I definitely had a few friends affected by it, but it's just a very passive kind of interaction, so it's usually not a problem.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah. 外人シートはもうなくしましょう、これからね。2022年すべてなくしましょう。自分が変われば変わりますよね。
Yeah.
Okay, the last question. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this question just because the people who are watching my video are, I mean, probably studying English.
Cool.
That's why. So, 頑張れ。So that is why I'm gonna ask you this question. What do you think Japanese people should do in order to speak English? Not something that everyone say. You know, like what do you think? Like your own answer, I guess. Like it's not like take this course and then go to Dajuku. Like it's not what I want to hear.
Cool.
Yeah.
Again, great question, but this question I do know how to answer.
Luckily.
It's just put yourself in the type of situation that you feel most comfortable in. But the only twist is see if there are English speakers there. Which sounds kind of obvious, which really means, for example, Saya likes dancing. I also like dancing. Dancing is huge network no matter where you go. If I meet dancers, I'll try to ask where they practice or where they hang out. That's where, for me, how I learn Japanese or how I pick up the culture and the slang is just doing something I love doing, but trying to force myself to communicate in that language with Japanese speakers. In my case, it's dancing, or other things like photography.
Yeah.
So add language with the hobby that you really like. And if it's a social hobby, then please try to pursue it. And that would be the quickest way. Make friends in that language, not just the book. Friends are the best teachers.
Okay.
Because language is already an uncomfortable thing for trying to express yourself. But
already.
Yes.
A lot.
I usually don't try to do too many new things at once.
Hi.
So if you can surround yourself by people who, I mean, you will already know how, let's say it's tennis. I don't give a fuck about tennis, but it's tennis.
Yeah.
And if you already know how to like what serve is, what is a word that's used So right? So the motions are the same no matter what country you're in. So if you say out and someone's like, oh, auto or whatever, or those things you can easily pick up without even having to write any notes about it.
それは分かってるからってことね。Okay,
Yes.
you already know
Yeah.
like other things besides the
And then asking questions would be easy if you know just like the basics from what you're learning. And same thing with basketball, soccer. They already have a lot of commonalities that you can pick up the most important words very quickly, and then you can fill in the rest just by talking. And then they'll invite you to parties like enkais, nomikais, otsukarekais.
True, yeah.
Which is the main
Yes.
And
趣味とかそうね、
Yes.
もうすでに好きなことから英語にしようっていうことね。英語だけやったらやっぱり面白くないプラスプレッシャーとか多分もっと最初からストレスがかかりまくるけれども好きなことやったらもう知ってるっていうことがあっての英語っていうだけのプレッシャーとかストレスだけやからやっぱりそれを同時にした方がいいよっていうことですね。ということで Thank you so much for being here and
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, we had so much fun. I mean, I had so much fun. Yeah.
I had a lot of fun too.
Great. Okay, so I mean, you might see him in the next video as well, but for now, for this video, let's say bye. みんなありがとう。また次回見てね。
All right, see you guys.